She asked me for a job at my auto shop. I said, I want a wife, not an employee. The young woman stood silently at the entrance of my small auto shop, gripping a worn travel bag while trying to hide the tears filling her eyes. She wasn't asking for charity. She wasn't begging for money. She simply asked for a chance to work. What happened after I looked into her exhausted eyes changed not only her life, but mine forever. Before we continue, if you believe kindness, second chances, and true love can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Bright Kindness for more emotional stories that warm the heart. My name is Daniel, and for nearly 12 years, my auto repair shop had been my entire world. Every bolt I tightened and every engine I repaired reminded me that machines were often easier to understand than people. 5 years earlier, my wife had passed away after a long illness, leaving behind an empty house and an even emptier heart. Friends kept telling me to move on, but I buried myself in work instead. My shop became my home, and my customers became my only family. I had convinced myself that love belonged to my past, not my future. One bright autumn afternoon, a dusty bus stopped across the street. Among the passengers, one young woman stepped off carrying nothing except a faded pink bag and a heart full of uncertainty. Her name was Emma. She walked directly toward my garage after reading the small "Help Wanted" sign hanging beside the entrance. Her clothes were clean but worn, and the fear in her eyes told a story long before she ever spoke. She explained that she had left an abusive home hundreds of miles away and had nowhere else to go. She had no experience repairing cars, but she promised she could learn quickly. All she needed was honest work and one chance. I listened quietly as she spoke. Something about her determination reminded me of the person I used to be before life hardened me. Without thinking, I smiled and jokingly said, "I want a wife, not an employee." The words escaped before I realized how they sounded. Emma immediately looked down, embarrassed, believing I was mocking her struggle. She apologized for wasting my time, picked up her bag, and slowly turned toward the road. Watching her walk away filled me with instant regret. I rushed after her and explained that I wasn't making fun of her. For the first time in years, I had laughed naturally, and my awkward joke had come from loneliness rather than cruelty. I apologized sincerely and offered her the mechanic assistant position. She hesitated, then accepted with grateful tears in her eyes. The following weeks transformed my quiet garage. Emma arrived before sunrise every morning and stayed until every tool was perfectly organized. She studied repair manuals during lunch breaks, asked thoughtful questions, and celebrated every new skill she learned. Customers noticed her kindness as much as her growing mechanical talent. The garage, once silent except for engines and tools, slowly filled with laughter again. I realized I was smiling more than I had in years. Then life tested us once more. One evening, the man Emma had escaped from appeared outside the shop demanding she return with him. Fear instantly returned to her face. Without hesitation, I stood between them and refused to let him take another step closer. Neighbors called the police, and after learning about his history of abuse, officers removed him from the property. That terrifying day reminded Emma that she no longer had to fight alone. Months passed, and our friendship quietly became something deeper. It wasn't built on dramatic romance or perfect moments. It grew through shared breakfasts before opening the shop, repairing old trucks together, celebrating small victories, and helping one another heal invisible wounds. Emma taught me that broken hearts, much like broken engines, could be repaired with patience, honesty, and care. One peaceful evening after closing the garage, we stood watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and gold. I remembered the awkward words I had spoken the day we met. This time there was no joke. I simply told her that my greatest blessing had never been hiring an employee. It had been finding the person who made me believe in tomorrow again. With tears in her eyes and hope in her smile, Emma accepted my heartfelt proposal. Their wedding wasn't expensive or grand. Friends, loyal customers, and neighbors gathered outside the very garage where their journey had begun. The same place that once echoed with loneliness now overflowed with joy, proving that sometimes the greatest miracles arrive carrying nothing more than a small travel bag and a desperate request for work. Special request. Before this story ends, comment below with the words, "Kindness changes lives." If you believe one act of compassion can completely transform someone's future, if this story touched your heart, please like this video. Share it with your family and friends. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Bright Kindness. Your support helps these stories of hope, healing, and second chances reach people who may need them the most. Sometimes life doesn't send us the person we were searching for. Sometimes it sends someone searching for hope, and by choosing kindness instead of judgment, two broken lives discover they were always meant to become one.